you look at what is going on, for example, it's been said that Karfi and Yaba wards of Malmfashi local government area in Katsina have been under siege for some time now. It's not new, and this attack was a retaliatory after local vigilante action. But why does it look that the military failed to intervene proactively in such a volatile area despite clear signs of escalation in tension, where some citizens said to have even called the attention of the military beforehand that this was going to happen?
You know, like I always tell people that maybe a lot of people think the militaries were magicians. We're not. We're humans, just like anybody. And most times these areas where these things occur, no network or bad roads. So before the information gets on you, because even the terrorists, the bandits know, they come in quickly, strike 5 minutes, and they have disappeared because they have easy mobility to move out as quickly. I give you an example in the northeast. A distance of 10 kilometers, because of the IEDs that are being used, you have to get somebody with a hand prodder to walk ahead, scanning 10 kilometers to where you're going. If you speed up and you enter and you climb the IEDs, everybody in that vehicle is dead. Everybody. So sometimes you're also thinking because you have to stay alive to do your work. So these things are, some terrains you go there, they are absolutely impassable. On foot, yes, but that you are moving to respond as quickly as possible is a bit more difficult than people think. So the reactions are there, the timings are there. Most times before, like I said, before you get the information, it's actually quite late. But I can tell you the troops are doing well. And like I said, once they know that troops are here, somebody will tell them, so they go to a different place and with a distant area and strike. All they want is, one, to show that there's insecurity, you know, for their own personal gains and whatever it is they want to achieve. So those are the issues we're doing. But
what about, General, what about digital and drone technology surveillance?
We're deploying all those ones. But again, even the drones, you know, it can't be everywhere. It needs information so that it's precise. Otherwise, you waste the drone. It will just be hanging in the air and there's nothing. I give you an example. The price worth of a medium-range precision weapon for a drone is $100,000. One. So if you strike one, $100,000, how much is it in Naira?
It's about 150 million.
How many can you buy? So you have to be very careful as to where you use it to make sure that it's making the positive impact. Just last 2 weeks, we had a good strike where we killed over 100 of them with over 50 motorcycles. That is a good strike because the timing came in and we were ready for it, and the drone was there and we took out.
What about our satellites? I know, so that we don't deceive ourselves, the NICOMSAT, I'm not sure they're active. The ones the Chinese hosted for us, we don't even have control over it, unfortunately. But we need the satellites to work.
The satellites are there. We see what we need. We need real-time satellites. When an operation, I tell you an example, when an operation is ongoing and you can see, your commanders can direct you, this man is moving here, these ones are deployed there, you can do good. But we don't have that. And these things are damn so expensive to get because we don't have them. So we have to rely on using those.
And some of these enemies, they capitalize on
all this
incapacity.
Good. Those are
be able
to take advantage of
this. For example, I remember when some Americans were talking about the elite forces that came to extract an American in the Northeast region. It was monitored in DC remotely from Pentagon. It was monitored remotely, and the operation went without.
And do you know the amount of money that was spent in doing that?
Yeah.
Because they have the capacity, they produce the equipment they use. We don't do. We have to rely on buying. Sometimes even with your money, you can't get those equipments. Now with the Russian-Ukraine war going, a lot of equipments are difficult to come by. So that's why I'm happy that Mr. President has last year approved. After signing the DICOM bill, the Defense Industrial Bill, for us to now invite original equipment manufacturers, let's produce. Because when we produce, then we can get much at money's worth. If you don't, it's going to be extremely difficult. And so we're working on that, and that has really continued to.
But there are other markets. Turkey is there.
Even there, it's not easy to come by. Some of these things you pay, you have to wait a long time for these things to be produced. And so, but I think the trick out is for us to produce. Because once we start production, employment for us, we save our foreign exchange, we can also sell to our neighboring countries. And so it's a win-win thing. And I think that's what we are going to continue to work on. But on the general term, I think, again, to show that things are improving, the oil price is coming down, petrol is coming down almost on a weekly basis. The Naira is stable. The GDP has improved, even if it's slightly, but at least it has appreciated to show that things are really, really picking up. For the first time, I was reading today, foreign reserve has climbed 41 billion, which is massive. And I think if we continue like this gradually, our oil production has increased to 1.8 liters beyond our OPEC quota. We are targeting 2.5, 2 million, 2.5. I think we can achieve that. To do that, again, we need all our oil wells to be working efficiently. And I think the president wants to go into that to ensure that all the oil wells have the right people that will operate them so that we can benefit from God-given talent. And we've been able to address this issue of bunkering. It has reduced to the maximum now. Stealing or theft of fuel has also increased. All the major producers are reporting green in all their pipelines, so they are producing 98% for the first time in a very long period of time.
We are anticipating 2 million barrels.
2 million barrels. We're targeting 2 million barrels, and at most, when all the oil wells are, we're targeting 2.53. Nigeria can achieve that. It's very possible.
Yeah, hopefully. And I don't want to sound like American President Donald Trump, but I'm hoping that this might also be an option, building walls in some part of the Northeast.
Well, we had my comment. That's what I preached. I said we should build walls from critical areas. Especially this 1,500 kilometers. If we're able to take it out and make sure we secure it fully. And it's not only the walls. When you put the walls, you have to use technology. Put cameras, put drones, so that anybody crossing is known. And again, I keep on saying, it's important that we must develop a database for Nigeria. We can never shy away from having a database for, and the only way we do that, let's compress every detail we have into one document. We know every Nigerian, we know how many vehicles, what house, what road, what street. When you go abroad, you commit a crime, there's a 50-50 chance that you'll be caught. It's not by magic. It's because they have your database, they have your number. All they require for you is you get your thumbprint or get your face or your signature, and they can track to where you are. We must be able to leverage on that and to develop.
Are you aware of what the Ministry of Interior, because I spoke with the Minister of Interior not long ago, Olubumi Tunji-Ojo, who said he couldn't speak so much about what some of the effort, but I said that there are effort in remotely and digitally monitoring our border space in this country. Are you aware of what?
No, we work together. We really exchange a lot of ideas together. We sit down to brainstorm on issues and ways forward on how to address these issues. And it's working. It's working quite very well. We need to do more. That's what we say. We need to scale up well and to assist them. If we have a database, it's easier for us to build so that everybody has a number as a Nigerian, maybe a social security number like other countries when you do. So when you go, all you need is what's your social security number, and we're able to get details about you. If a vehicle is stolen, it's easier to track it. If something is done, it's easier to track it. We must be able, and I can tell you, without all these things, the police is still doing its best. So imagine they have a database that they could also refer to. It makes it a lot better.
The president promised boots on the ground. But that has not materialized.
No, we are.
How many soldiers have been employed in the last 2 years?
I can tell you we're improving by the day.
But how many?
No, I mean, those are figures you don't like giving out. It's not figures that you want.
But have we improved the number?
No, we have improved. We're improving,
soldiers?
yes. And I can tell you, it's only the armed forces now that is doing massive recruitment, both in the officers' corps and for the soldiers, including the airmen and the ratings. We're doing massive recruitment. Now, the Nigerian Army has also established a second depot somewhere in the southwest, where we also, so it's not only the one in Zaria. Zaria produces about, let me say, 13,000 yearly. Now we're open another, we get an additional 13,000 coming from there. Then the Air Force, the Navy are also doing. I think the police is also doing immigration, and all the other ones are doing. We need to scale up, and I'm happy that we're doing it, because for us in the armed forces, we don't rush into recruitment. You have to get it right, because the ill-trained one is more dangerous than the bandit, because he could go in peacetime and cause a lot of havoc for everybody. So that's why it's painstaking that we do the training, and once you finish your initial training, you go for a further training, and before we now deploy you out, because we don't want things like accidental discharge and all this, and that's why you see that you hardly hear such things, because we view it seriously. For us in the armed forces, there is nothing like accidental discharge, because you must have taken the ammo, you must have put it in the magazine, you must have mounted, you must have opened the safety catch, you must have cocked and the trigger. So at what instance was it an accident? So these are procedures, and for us, it's a no-no. Anybody who commits that no, so you can see that every military man knows the importance of his rifle. In fact, to us, we call them our wives, because that is your life. Anything you are doing, even if you are going to bait, your rifle must be with you.
I remember in our early days of middle training, the rule of manning your equipment.
Yes.
The rule of manning your equipment had no. Even if there's crisis, your equipment
your
weapon
must by your side.
And the way we were taught to carrying your camera and your tripod is to put it in your armpit. And I have a feeling that that's similar to the training.
The worst thing that
you
happens
never to leave your equipment unmanned.
If you lose your rifle, you're gone. You're a goner. If you lose your rifle, that's the worst offense you can ever commit.
So the promise made by the president is being fulfilled.
No, it's been fulfilled very well.
That we're having more
boots on ground, yes. And the equipments are also coming in. The Air Force is doing so well. We're getting more helicopters. We have bought more drones into the system. So we're now deploying them and making sure that they also operate optimally.
But General, to super tucanos, some of them, they almost became a shell because the manufacturers didn't give us full complement of this equipment.
Those are part of the issues. Those are part of the issues. It's part of the international system that works. But again, we're working towards that. I think efforts have been made. All the other gray areas have been ironed out.
Is this the same president in America that helped Nigeria, so sold it to us?
He's also
well, we got on the ground and discovered that more or less a shell, and it's sold to us.
No, they were brand new.
Yeah,
they were brand new.
But they didn't come with full complement.
Yes, they didn't come with all the complement. But again, we're getting them in gradually, and we're working towards it. You know, recently, if you read the news, you saw that there's more ammunitions have been released to us to buy. But like I said, as long as you are depending on somebody to provide weapons for you, you are going to remain a beggar. We must get our things.
Yeah, reports show that Nigeria experienced more deaths from bandits and insurgents in the first half of 2025 than all of 2024. 2,266 compared to 1,083 last year. Yet you also stated the military often aborts operations to avoid civilian harm.
That is
even at a tactical cost. How do you reconcile this rising death toll with your claim restraint, and what specific changes in tactics or training have followed?
That is it, because we are a professional armed forces. We obey the law, so it makes it different. And then the person you are fighting knows the importance. So what he does, if you commit an offense, he gets into the civil within the crowd, and then it becomes a problem. If you strike, you become the enemy of the people. Everybody cares that you are killing innocent civilians. So we have to weigh both sides, and that's what we also preach, that anyone found to be supporting these bandits and you are with them, you are a legitimate target, and we will definitely strike you. And that's why it's very, very important. And so for political reasons, most time when this happens, people want to make it look as if we're just going around and killing civilians. No. Most of these so-called civilians were the ones providing them fuel, providing them food.
But what about those infiltrators within the military?
No, those ones were, I mean, we recruit from the public. We recruit from the public, so we cannot say we don't have. What we do and what works for us is that we identify them and we deal with them. We have standing court martials in all our operations. You commit an offense. If you go to most of our prisons, you see a lot of ex-military men while they're in prison. You commit an offense, we do not hide. And that's why you see the discipline level still up. Everybody tries to make sure that we live above board.
I need to go on another break, but before then, because of this security situation, so there are those who will say, maybe just like we see in some countries like Israel, that as a young person graduates, that you have to serve compulsorily in the military as part of your compulsory service to the nation. Just like the
these are options. That's what the NYC is supposed to do. And you know, the NYC had been watered down to 3 weeks. I think it's important that we're able to give every Nigerian one security awareness at whatever level. Self-defense is very important. On armed combat, swimming, driving, these are critical aspects for human endeavor. Those are things we should never take for granted because it prepares you for the future. The world we're in now is dangerous. We have individuals that don't mean people well. They kill for whatever reason, and it is not only in Nigeria. I'm sure you know, even abroad, you see somebody will take a weapon, go to a school, and open fire on everybody. So there's a lot of psychological things. People, because again...
So you encourage self-defense?
No, self-defense, everybody is supposed to be ready to protect himself as an individual. So if it means you should take judo lessons, take karate lessons, make sure that you are physically fit to be able to withstand this, and don't want to take things...
But how do you withstand bullets? Well, self-defense in the face of
you avoid where bullets will fly as much as possible, and I think those are the areas that we should. But I think that education on security is what we don't do.
All right. In all of this, and you hear frustration in the voices of some governors who think that maybe the military dropped the ball, and you hear Governor Dawood Lawal of Zamfara say he was frustrated because bandits are better armed and coordinated than his local security forces. You acknowledge some of the frustration of these state governors and how they feel abandoned by the military.
It's not, well, the military will never abandon its own. I mean, we've done it in other countries, why not in Nigeria? So the question is why? What are the issues? You have a lot of people that, we have a lot of issues on illiteracy. People don't even understand what they are doing. And, you know, that's why it's important for citizens to see that infrastructures are coming in, things for them, the benefits they are getting. And it's supposed to be complementary to what the federal government is doing. Working together as a team, I think so. And these are years and years of abandonment that people have lost confidence. Now they're beginning to see actions being taken. Again, there's a lot of doubt. So we need to clear those doubts for them to do. But what I can tell you is that we are committed. The governor of Zamfara is somebody we know very well, and we work very, very closely together. In other governors, all governors in the country, we work together. We want to make sure that we maintain that confidence between us, working together as a team. And I think that's what we can get. We get better results.
What is the latest on Simon Ekpa?
Yeah, I think he's still been prosecution. He's still undergoing prosecution in Finland, and so we're hopeful. And you can see, because you know, when we talked about him, people felt we were just making. But since he has been arrested, Southeast is getting better. And so the likes of him, we're going to go after them wherever they are, and whatever it takes, we'll bring them. And that's why the Ansaro guys too is a good win for all of us. Other ones who are following, the other ones that we don't talk about, we also look at them and be able to pull them out. And I think clearly we'll do that. And in order to achieve more, because no nation is an island, we are also organizing our African Chiefs of Defense Staff Conference starting on Monday, where all the Chiefs of Defense Staff in Africa, for the first time coming to Nigeria for us to discuss, because we see that these incidents are not respecting anyone. Mozambique, you can understand it. Mozambique is facing issues. Ghana is beginning to face issues. Burkina Faso, Mali, and all other areas. So it's important that we come together as brothers and sisters, discuss our problems, and provide solutions.
What would you say is the biggest gap or challenge in intelligence gathering?
I wish we could have satellites like you mentioned. With satellite imaging, you can see things directly and you can be able to react as quickly as possible. And these are things that are very expensive, not easy to come by, but we're building them. The NSA is doing a lot, the DSS, the NIA, and that's why you see we're getting a lot of successes. Like
but the president declared a state of emergency on security. We imagine that more funding, and it's this sad that we're talking about ill funding for the military.
The funding is good. The funding is good. Like I told you, one missile is $100,000. Imagine if you need to shoot to precision. You need to shoot to precision. Imagine you need to get you need to buy a drone. How much does a drone? You need to buy a ship. One ship could take 10 tankers of fuel. If it goes 5 hours, it's empty. Security is expensive. Budget last 2 years in America was $883 billion. They produce the equipment they're using. In Afghanistan, America was spending almost $1 billion a day. We can't afford to.
General, I'd like to put you on the spot so that we can close. Can you look Nigerians in the eye tonight, General, and as the #1 military officer in the land, and tell Nigerians that the country is safer now than 2 years ago? And if so, what evidence should citizens hold on to?
Proudly so. Proudly so. I know we're doing better. I've traveled around this country, and everywhere I've been to, people commend us for the efforts. Sometimes when you hear one attack, one strike, and you think, then in the past it used to be rampant. Now it is slowing down. To tell you we're succeeding, markets are back, schools are opening, people go to church, people go to mosque. Yes, there will be attack. There can never be 100%, but I can tell you we're moving forward and we'll continue to do more.
Is there anything that we should be hopeful about in the coming days?
The Nigeria will get to better. The government is working hard, the armed forces is working hard, and we all need Nigerians coming together to make sure, firstly, we must love each other.
All right.
As Nigerians, and then we must protect ourselves, and we can succeed.
General Christopher Musa, Chief of Defense Staff, thank you so much indeed.
Thank you.
And again, my regards and salute to all the comrades on the field who are fighting daily to keep Nigerians safe.
Thank you very
Our
much.
salute to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.